Hello, peeps. Welcome to the Culture and People cast. Today we have Kim Shelby. Kim, in a few sentences, would you tell us who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. I currently am the head of IT business operations at Rotary International. So that includes like service management, strategy, planning, budgeting. And my name is Kim Shelby, head of the business operations, and I am grateful to be here and honored.
Oh, we're so excited to have you. And yeah, you have a big scope going on. and you and I had the opportunity to talk ahead of time with your role and your organization, much like a lot of us having to try to make it up as we go with COVID. There's a lot of changes that you've had, but if you kind of think about your career and your impact in the world of work, what's the best thing for you about influencing people and culture in organizations?
I have the best, I think it's the best way to pay it forward.
Mm,
So if you think about it, you'll be remembered by the people who you worked with and not necessarily for the work that you do.
mm,
And the ability to really positively impact others and get everyone kind of rowing in the same direction and aligned. You have to demonstrate the skills that make people want to follow you. And I just find it the most exciting thing to see your team grow and just to have that honor and responsibility to lead people. So I find
yeah.
it very exciting.
Yeah. And I tend to give leaders maybe a little bit of a difficult time on maybe not on purpose, but kind of because it's a really hard job. And I think if you're not, I saw a quote on somebody's account. It was something, was it yours, Kim, about if you're not willing to serve, then don't lead. It was just really this great humbling thing, kind of what you're saying. It's your best way to pay it forward. If you're able to truly be an impactful leader of influence within an organization, and that can come in any role inside the organization, you really are planting those seeds. So I think that's awesome. For you, I'm curious. I'm hearing from other top leaders that engaging talent is a challenge, obviously before and during COVID. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree. It is definitely a challenge. And I think it's because people feel disconnected today. And people really need to see how their work as an individual contributes to the organization as a whole. And a lot of it, I think, is lack of alignment. We need to make sure that the people you are bringing in, their values match your values, that you're involving them authentically. I think I read that on one of your
Mm,
blogs. And it's very challenging for the organization to continually tie the overall contributions of that individual person to how the organization is performing in their success. And that's where the leader comes in. Once you have that alignment, the organization is aligned on how they pay, compensate, attract, measure success, measure financials. Then I think the leader, the stage is set for the leader to continually make that link for the individual up to the organization and how everything they're doing every day will is contributing to the goals of the organization. And I think people are motivated by that. Motivation's hard to measure because it's not just a formula, multiply by two and there you have it. It's heart, it's mind, and the leader is by far the most important enabler of employee team member engagement. And you have to keep making that connection for them to say, okay, when you did this, it helped us reach this. Thank you for that. And
mm.
also to ensure that the goals from the organization are cascaded down so that the individual person can see, oh, here's how me doing this every day leads to us as the organization being able uh, to to reach success.
Yeah, yeah. And I've seen goal cascading in organizations, and here's the organization, here's the department, here's our team, here's your individual. But I still feel like there's a lack of real connection for the individual to truly feel like there's a trickle up effect to the big goal. And so I think you hit it, that it's got to be that storytelling from the leader that really helps bring it to life.
Mhm.
I'm curious for you, like, let's get really tactical. I like to make sure we do that. What advice do you have for the leader or the employee who says, I want to get better at either being a better storyteller to do that, or maybe even connecting my own goals to the organization? How can we improve on that? And I think therefore the bigger picture is improving on our culture and our people performance.
So for us, I think it's to really ensure everything is aligned.
Mm,
It's that alignment. You have the Porter's three generic strategies, your customer intimate company, product leadership, or operational excellence. And I think that stage needs to be set so that there is alignment all across how you're measured, how you perform. And then the individual, it's almost easier for the leader to say, okay, here's what we're going to do, and here's how we're going to help meet that goal, and here's what you do every day, allow us to reach that. Because culture, really, if you're bringing in people who are aligned with your culture, the results that they're contributing to the overall organization, it really allows for the companies to have success. And I think team members can feel it if their company's trying to engage them more. And that just motivates them more. And it's like this big circle of everyone contributing, right? The team member
Right.
wants to contribute more, the organization's more successful, the organization then in turn continues to invest in their team members, and it's just kind of a circle of success after that, where it just keeps adding benefits to everyone involved.
Yeah, it's like begets like, right? That when we're acknowledging that, and it does, I think leaders misunderstand that it doesn't have to be this huge, oh, you wrote a new policy that affects our entire company. Somebody on my team did something the other week for me that probably took them 20 or 30 minutes, but I made sure that they understood that by doing that, here's what I'm now able to do, which ties to a client project that we have coming up. Like, I just want them to, we have to make those connections because we can't count on them making them themselves all the time. Yeah, I
Exactly.
love that circle of success, like begets like, totally true. So Kim, what other leaders are out there, sort of in that ring fighting that good fight that you might want to acknowledge, either just as a great leader or maybe even as a potential guest on the show?
Sure. So Jennifer McCormick at Morton Salt was a mentor of mine, and she just really taught me how to really engage team members. She engaged me. She's really a pro at communication and using that as the most effective tool to ensure that I knew exactly where my contributions were leading to the overall organization success. She's definitely
Oh,
a superstar.
that's great. Kudos to Jennifer, right? And are there any resources that you would recommend for the individual out there who says, I want to advance our culture, I want to affect the people practices in my company? What are some of your favorites?
Sure, I have two. So one is Patrick Lencioni. He puts together some wonderful work on how to, what's your corporate culture, how are your teams performing. And I also am a big fan of Disney and how they are aligned as an organization, how they measure and engage their team members. I think they call them cast members continually, and you can see the results on their success. And so I like to study their business as well as their overall supply chain.
Yes, I agree. And, I was just listening on the radio the other day. I think it was something like, is it 28,000 people that they were having to lay off? Mostly those cast members, obviously in the parks, which are at not full capacity right now. But it'll be an interesting case study to see how a company that you and I both admire, how are they going to handle this? And unfortunately, a lot of this will be hindsight, right? Where we're going to be looking back. How did Disney handle it? How did Rotary Club handle it? And there will always be some lessons learned, but that's a great organization to follow. Thanks for those two suggestions. Well, I really thank you for all you're doing for people and culture, both in Rotary and in the world of work. So thanks for being a guest today. It was a great time.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
All right, peeps, we're sending you peace and progress. Thanks so much.